It's Friday, Feedback Friday, the feedbackiest day of the week. Ha! And it's Feedback Friday, and I just realized I'm wearing my Hulk shirt. That was weird. His head disappeared. Okay, but I'm not wearing it because I'm angry. I'm wearing it because Morph Smash X-Men 97. So do not read false intent from the shirt. Because, yeah, I mean, it kind of is. We're going to talk about anger. And we're going to talk about anger going in its proper place. Because, welcome, new people who clearly found this through the YouTube algorithm versus the man versus bear thing. We're going to have a chat about how we do things here. And it's going to be a struggle for me to properly encapsulate my thoughts because, obviously the individual and private conversations I had about, as one person in the Discord is calling it, man bear pig, which is funny, and now I can't unhear it. But the man versus bear response, the angry people are not the norm. The comments, like the vote downvote thing, overwhelmingly positive on that video. It's just the angry people leave comments, and I do know, like, some of the people I know, and I know they're good dudes, just buttons got pushed. And so I had some discussions about why, and to fill out with the comments, which, let's get to that. Let's do the help support this channel first. If you want to support counterpoint on these issues, like Two Women Talking, like the stuff we do, help support this channel, become a monthly patron, patreon.com/Leanna K, or buy a one-time Leanna Care session for someone who can use it but can't afford it, coffee.com/Leanna K. Those Leanna Care sessions are super, super important for people, because you shouldn't just be able to get support when you can afford it. So I get and I talked about this in the video, and one of the things that really struck me about it was the fact that a lot of people commented it as if Song was talking to herself. And I want to make a note on format, because the whole point of a point counterpoint is that there's one point and then there's another point, and both sides are represented. So there's two possibilities here. One, I didn't do an effective job representing Team Man, in which case, be pissed at me, not at Song. Or people just got that tunnel-visioned panic response, focusing only on the thing they found was a threat and ignoring all the things that were, like, agreeing with you and advocating your side. And the reason I think it's the latter is because a lot of things that were in the comments were things that I brought up in the video. So either people didn't watch the whole thing and just, or they just got triggered and spat it off. And it was frustrating on many, many levels. I even wrote a whole diss track, because I've been inspired by Kendrick Lamar, that originally I was gonna perform on this video as a joke, and then was like, no, people don't have a sense of humor on this. So, right. I made some notes. One of the things that came up in whenever somebody writes, you say feelings are valid, but, and then they weaponize the fact that I made that statement, that I find incredibly irritating, because the next thing out of them is arguing an opinion or arguing a fact. And that's not a feeling. Feelings are valid. However, you are responsible for how you present yourself. So someone can go, I understand your feelings. I don't appreciate how you are coming at me right now. And the way people treated Song's viewpoint and opinions, as somebody who is taking your side on this one, I don't support how it was expressed. And if you want Song to take your criticisms, you should be prepared to hear some as well. A lot of the comments were things that were already addressed in the video, which, if you're not going to listen, I can't help you, right? The accusations of intent directed at her were not fair. The intent was to present both sides, not to hate men, not to be irrational. Not the irrational thing is just, don't do this. Don't talk about the rationality of a trolley problem. I said that right off the top. And so many people just went there anyway. And if you're going to not take the assist, my brothers, I cannot help you, okay? Because there was a lot of signaling about what was an appropriate way to respond to this versus an inappropriate way to respond to this. And when anybody is telling you their honest reaction based on emotions, that's not rational, is the wrong answer. That's what I mean by feelings are valid. And the number of times Song said it's not about the bear, it's not about the bear, and people still made it about the bear. What does it mean that it's not about the bear? The bear is just a metaphor in this. And one commenter was foolish enough to start going on about cougars and creepy older women. And I actually responded in the comments, and why are you watching my content? Because, hello, McFly, think about the identity of the person whose channel you are putting that on. Like, that's choosing Team Bear. A lot of guys chose Team Bear by just responding with emotion, thinking they were making a rational argument, but they really weren't, because they were saying things that were already represented in the video. And the whole point of a point counterpoint is that Song's job is to represent Team Bear. My job was to represent Team Man. You don't have to explain Team Man, it's already being done. And I didn't see very much in the comments that wasn't something I've said or will say in a subsequent episode. This is part 1. And that's why I think that, there's a lot of new names in the comments. And so maybe people don't know how it works here. I'm giving you benefit of the doubt. But yeah, this isn't cool. And like, one thing someone said that they're uncomfortable with the whole rape by deception thing because it's commonly used to justify violence against trans women. That's why I did the stuff with Poppy and Xena, is that Poppy is a trans woman who is the victim of sexual assault by deception. It can happen to trans women as well, and I did that to try to blunt the problem is that is a false claim against trans women. That excuse for trans misogynistic violence is bullshit. And the reason it's bullshit is because that usually happens when you're getting to the point of sex and they tell their usually boyfriend that they're trans and the guy goes off and gets violent. No reason in the world gives him the right to get violent. There is no reason in the world to become abusive because you are hurt, frightened, or angry. Your feelings are valid. Your behavior may not be. You're going to hear this a lot. The flip side of that is that I have heard a lot of guys say, and this comes up in another, in the last part of this discussion. For people who don't know, Two Women Talking is multi-part discussions because women tend to talk for a long time. So do men, but I know the attention span. Some people will watch 4-hour stream replays. Most people here won't. The scenario I heard from a lot of guys is that if they're walking alone at night, they'll cross the street so that a woman isn't uncomfortable. What more can they do? And I had an in-depth discussion with one guy who said, you know, if I pass her on the street, I know that's wrong because that's getting into her space. If I hang back more, people have said, no, that's wrong because you're following her. If I cross the street, I really don't want guys having to cross the street. I don't want to live in this world. I recognize, I really appreciate that guys are being that considerate. And some of the guys I know do that. You would not know that from the comments they posted. So I'm being compassionate here. The whole thing is, what more can I do? I'm doing all this stuff and it's still men bad, men bad. This is the same regarding the pronouns thing, regarding race relations, regarding all you can do is your best. We'll get into more details about specific things. But I said, like in my case, a guy slowing down and maintaining that distance between us, that would be enough for me. Granted, I'm on team man. But still, I don't want to live in a world where men have to cross the street to make women comfortable at night. Overall, the ultimate solution for this is doing better at prevention, of preventing sexual assault so that nobody has to be this uptight. That is going to take a while. And it was interesting because it seems like the primary driver of the bad reaction in men is, no matter what I do, it's not good enough. And that's not true. That's not true. Remember, this is a hypothetical stranger we're talking about here in the man-bear trolley problem. And again, I said off the top, it's a trolley problem. There's no right answer. The whole purpose of a trolley problem is you change a variable and it changes the answer. And yet so many people seem to be ignoring that, like, because it's an emotional reaction. And one of the lines that I was quite proud of in the diss track I wrote was, "You can't take no for an answer, going for the eyes like some fucked up hamster. Sorry, boo, it's not news, they see through you, so screw you. These are feelings, not voodoo." That's one of the safer lines. If you are this reactive to a video where you are safe, how can you be sure you're not being intimidating in elsewhere? Because there's an impulse issue here. And what I tend to hear is, well, this is why I avoid women. Okay, great. Thank you. Right? The block button's there for a reason. If you choose to solve this problem by avoiding everybody, by avoiding all women, aren't you choosing the bear? See, it's a complete logic loop, right? No matter how you go full-blown men going their own way on this, the extreme reactions from men are choosing the bear as much as women are. I mean, the comment about there was one, and I'm like, haha, okay, this funny. I have sense of humor about it. Where is it? I'm scrolling up again. What about bear versus feminist? And I was like, haha, I am the bear. As I said, I'm the Voltron of bears. Like, I self-identify as a feminist. That's why it's funny. For people who don't know, because there's people here who don't know me and probably aren't watching this video because they didn't fucking subscribe. They just did a drive-by commenting and yeeted out. The problem with this, that was a thing where I could have come out swinging and going, right? Bear. But if you have a bad reaction to why women choose the bear, you are choosing the bear yourself. That uncontrollable panic response or outraged response when there's a freak out about a He-Man cartoon, that's men choosing the bear. The freak out about She-Hulk, that's men choosing the bear. Television is safe. It cannot attack you, but something was so visceral in there that bear. The Star Wars Outlaws freak out. Men choosing the bear. Stellar Blade. That's lace panel in a bunny costume when you can put her in other costumes where her ass is bouncing so much it looks like liquid. It's one costume that's choosing the bear. Everybody has things where they have an emotional response that is not logical, is not rational. A bear is a wild animal, a dangerous wild animal. A TV show cannot think. It can't attack you. And yet so many dudes, I'm not saying it's the same people, but so many guys, I felt attacked. I felt attacked by this. I feel like, this is not for me. Okay. But it's a TV show. It doesn't know you personally, so it's not attacking you personally. And that's the bad feeling is valid. See, I'm being consistent. This is why I listened to the pro Gamergate side, and to this day, people are telling me I was pro Gamergate. I wasn't. I'll just talk to anybody who wants to fucking talk. And I saw a few points there, even if I didn't condone the tactics. The same way I didn't condone the tactics on the Hogwarts Legacy backlash. I understand the feelings there. I don't condone spoiling the game. You know, imagine if people went around spoiling Stellar Blade to wreck it for people that bought it. That wouldn't be cool. That's not cool, you know? Morph Smash. But I think, and this is where I'm going to give you the Xavier response, and I'm going to give the Magneto response. We all have to be more, I'm having this reaction. Let's sit with it a minute before I answer, before I speak. And again, it's a trolley problem. There's no right or wrong answer. Now, one of the things this did make me realize I'm going to do is I'm going to do more affirmational videos on Manly Mondays, because I think part of the problem is that men, because of masculine socialization, men aren't getting enough what to do right, what you're doing right, content, messages. And it's like, okay, we can do something to calm that down. We can do something about that, right? There is also the reality that the same way women who choose the bear are centering the bad men in society, the dangerous men, whereas people like me are centering the good men in our field of vision. I assume the guy's probably more scared than me, and I said in the video I did solo on this, the first thing on a guy's mind in that circumstance of being in the woods is not, hey, let's go raping, right? No, I don't assume that. But you can't argue that women are being uniquely irrational for choosing the bear and then freak out about every video game, every TV show, every movie, every anything that you don't like, screaming censorship, we want our waifus. That's choosing the bear. Because I keep hearing, like, women don't like me in the real world, just give me this. You're choosing the bear. You're choosing the bear. You're choosing to retreat to some place of guaranteed safety instead of going out in the big scary world and maybe getting falsely accused. Because the false accusation for men is the thing that they're deathly afraid of, as opposed to the women who are afraid of actually getting raped. But that withdrawing is still choosing the bear. You're choosing to not fail instead of choosing to thrive. And there are plenty of TV shows that I try to watch and then I stop watching because I'm just getting angry at the behavior of men in it. I had to tap out of Loudermilk. I forget, I gave it like 7 episodes, and it was so, when his dad had sex with a much younger woman in his bed while he was trying to sleep in that bed, I'm like, no, this is not funny. This is gross. I'm done, at least for now. I stopped watching the show instead of going on a big tear about how horrible the show was, right? You're allowed to do that. You can choose not to watch. And yes, it means there are certain opinions that you're not going to be able to be a part of. And quite honestly, there are certain shows and certain things I don't watch, because if I don't watch it, I don't have to have an opinion. I almost did that with Stellar Blade, because I was like, no matter what side I come down on here, somebody's going to scream at me. Maybe it's better to just not have an opinion. I ended up playing the game, because, and it's been pretty funny. It's been kind of fun. So I made the right choice, but You know, some of these are character traits that a person can't do much about. Openness to new experiences, and on Hexaco it's split into two stats, but what they call in the Big Five, neuroticism. These are personality traits that a person cannot just change. So shaming someone for being scared, shaming someone for having a big emotional reaction. I'm not shaming anyone for having a reaction. If you want to debate me on it, I'm going to check you on your facts, sure. But, it's like one outfit in Stellar Blade where you can wear others. There are plenty of other outfits that show plenty of skin. Freaking out on one and insisting it's some sort of ideologically driven censorship just doesn't make sense to me on that axis, And I don't know what they were actually thinking. I take Shift Up at their word, because my attitude is, hey, they made a game with a woman with a face like a doll and freakish body proportions, and they went out of their way to bring the sexy back, and you're complaining about one outfit? Isn't this exactly what we say about why you shouldn't listen to the rad femmes? Because they're never going to be satisfied? You will never be satisfied, Hamilton. Yeah. Isn't that what we say about them? Why aren't we being better than them? Right? Team Man, come on. Let's be held to our own standards here. And that's really what it comes down to. The Magneto reaction. I'm morphing into the Magneto reaction, but the Magneto reaction was the diss track that I wrote, because it was really harsh, and it took some cheap shots, because in a diss track the only rule is maximum hate. Try to be clever while you're doing it. And that's what I'm going to say. The reason they're supervillains is they're good at what they do. Bargain basement insults, discourse ordered from Wish, doesn't convince anybody. All it does is make you look scared, which means you're choosing the bear. If you're acting out of fear, you're choosing the bear, right? And if you're arguing against Team Bear while acting in accordance with the motivations of Team Bear, I cannot help you, right? I'm on Team Man. I choose to give people the benefit of the doubt. And that's where you all slipped up. As I'm sitting here arguing, choose in favor of the good men, take a bit of risk, give benefit of the doubt, it's worth it. Because odds are that's the better bet. And y'all are coming here giving no benefit of the doubt to Song, assuming ill intentions, assuming she's out to get you. Team Bear. You picked the fucking bear, and you didn't realize you were doing it. Which means Song wins this round. Team Bear won this round. Good job, Team Bear. Eileen will be at the kiosk if you want an information pamphlet. Now, we're continuing this. We're continuing this next week. So come on, Team Man. Let's behave better. Let's behave with an open mind and show that you actually can respond from something other than fear and contempt. To me, my X-Men, okay? Like, maybe I'll just end up with Rogue and Sunspot, but Rogue's cute. Come on, guys. You can do this. I have faith in you. Help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/LeannaK, or buy a one-time Leanna Care session for someone you can use but can't afford it. Coffee.com/LeannaK. People are going to be so mad. And I'm in Magneto mode. Morph Smash. Have a great weekend.